UFO shit really about? Everything they tell us, you gotta think about it in reverse. Now watch this. They say aliens are real and they just now starting to visit Earth, and they coming from the sky, and we can see the aircraft in certain areas of these aliens. Let's summarize what they giving us, right? Now, when they give you that, think of the opposite. Guess what the opposite it is? The opposite is everything they saying in reverse. So if they say that the aliens come from the sky, nope, the aliens come from up under the ground, bitch. If they say that the aliens are just now coming to the earth, I'm gonna say, oh, well, they must have been here already. Everything they say, I'm gonna flip it backwards and I'm gonna get the truth out of it. If they say that aliens come from the sky and they just started showing up to Earth, I'm gonna say, nope, aliens come from under the ground and they've been here all the time with us. And we didn't know it because they shapeshifters, just like the movie show. The stuff they showing in the movies is literally your reality, like the Truman Show. If you want the truth, go and watch you some sci-fi. Go and watch you some horror, some scary. If you really want the truth, fuck what Neil deGrasse Tyson saying. Nigga, go watch Stranger Things. Nigga, get you a sci-fi motherfucking account. I can't make this up. People, I'm gonna show you something. Hollywood and sci-fi is ahead of science and technology, because everything that science and technology does, it come from sci-fi and Hollywood first. The first cell phone appeared on Disney, on Hollywood. It's almost like Hollywood is the magician's one that tells the scientists what kind of world we need to manifest. And if you look at the kind of world that science says they're gonna manifest, you will be lost. If you go and turn your TV on and look at all these sci-fi futuristic movies and all that with robots policing humans, and the government is totalitarian, ain't no emotions, like the movie Equilibrium. If you go and watch all that stuff, you will get a sneak peek into what they really trying to do and what they really trying to manifest in the world. But if you go and look at these scientist channels, hey, we're just trying to clean up the environment and make everything, you'll be thrown off. They trying to control the environment. And guess what, y'all? I'm gonna tell you something about the people in power. They act non-human. I've been saying this for years, people. You got to understand that there's an alien group living amongst us, and this is no longer a game. You got to understand that you're something called a sentient being and a human, but there's some people, I'm gonna take all that back about you being a human. You're not a human, you're a spirit. Now, when I say you're a spirit, what kind of a spirit? Because spirit comes in vibrational families, nigga. I said that first. I said your vibe attract your tribe. Spirits move in vibe tribes. And I'm telling you, there's a tribe of spirits with a vibration on this earth that's ruling the earth, and that is the spirit of demon time, and nigga, that is a spirit of merciless, satanic, where you can really just not have a heart. You can torture a newborn baby, nigga. You can set a little child and burn them alive. You gotta understand that that kind of vibration is foreign to this earth. It's not original to this earth. This barbaric natured frequency. And it has taken over music, television, and this group of spiritual archons, or aliens, if you will, they're like vampires. Once they get their vibe on you, you become part of their tribe. Once you adopt their vibe, you become part of their tribe. And the only way you can break free from their tribe is to change your vibe. And that's hard to do when you become one of them. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of the ancestors speak of an earth that was a utopia, to where these so-called barbarians were nomadic gypsy groups where nobody knew where they came from. And they just showed up with a different energy, eating meat, ripping apart flesh. And when they came here, it was a vegan-based world of very advanced love energy.
From the year 2492, and it was when I was a kid that I discovered that was not from this time. That was different from the rest of the kids. That was a bird from another flock, and every duck. But then, other things happened I didn't know. I had abilities that I didn't know where it was coming from. It was all related to my brain. I have 40% more. Now, what kind of abilities I have that could be helpful for humanity? Well, anticipating the future was one. Animals could communicate with me. At the beginning, I was afraid of them. But then later on, I realized that they were part of me. These animals reach out and tell me a very powerful message. And what was that? That we are all connected with them, and that they are connected with the evolved side. Means that they are spying us from other galaxies. They are ruling other galaxies, are watching every move we do. And when the time comes, they will know how to hit. They have their own wars, and I am well informed. I will know when they will try to go berserk on us. All humans have the power to travel in time, and they have vehicles, the same I have now, that travels through time and is manipulated with the power of my mind. Only I can use that machine. Because many of these machines already work, but in order to empower these machines, we have power lines that the government knows about everywhere. They're stationed in very tactical positions around the cities, and they are camouflage. And they serve to create like a freeway, but all these vehicles can move back and forth from point A to point C in a very great velocity. But that's just to move in a physical way. But in an astral way, this vehicle helps us to travel through time. And guess what? The government knows about us, travelers from the future since the 70s. They don't want to say nothing. They don't want to say nothing about Mars either. There are people living over there since those times. You think I'm crazy? No. They're afraid that we will become crazy by knowing that. And humans over there, they're a bit different because they need to, survive a different climate, more aggressive weather, changes of light that we might not have here, gravity. That makes them more resistant to some things we are not. The skin may be stronger, the eyes, they need to be protected of this. The point is, they're like us. They have the capability that we do of the brain of 40%. And I say we do, people from the future. I keep my spaceship in the forest, hidden right where is a cave. It's not far from here, it's like 20 to 25 miles from Los Angeles City, but this is not a everyday spaceship. And there are many of these spaceships everywhere. How to find them? That's a good question right there. And the thing is this. What happened in the middle of the forest? And all of a sudden, a patch of lush green grass coming from nowhere that doesn't match the rest of the vegetation. It's all dry, I'm telling you, and all of a sudden, this greenery right in this single spot. What that tells you is a hidden space underneath that creates why? What creates that? Because the energy that's recycling and feeding up the spaceship cannot be turned off. It's constantly generating all this energy that is influencing the vegetation around, making the vegetation alive. The vegetation never dies. The grass grows greener and greener. That's why I don't want to hide my spaceship like that. I keep it in a cave. I'm here to warn humanity about very serious catastrophes that are going to affect us in a period of 100 to 200 years. First thing that's going to happen, and it's very important, a president, very influential president, is going to be assassinated. And a dictator will replace him, a new Hitler. So you are more important than one Hitler. You can make a change and battle this, starting with protecting the president. And for that, I have a plan. The second catastrophe that's going to happen, the United Nations is going to disappear because the world is going to fall apart with this World War III. And that will create a great disbalance of power. People will not have voice. You are the voice. You are the hope. The third catastrophe that's going to happen is a great tsunami that's going to hit Europe, sinking half of the continent below water. And how did this happen? A new continent resurfaced. The truth is that was Atlantis, the old country that disappeared. It resurfaced again. But the government decided to present these aliens to the humanity, but the reality that those people were not aliens. They were here the whole time, living below water. The fourth catastrophe will be an asteroid that will enter the atmosphere and hit specifically one city I cannot say, but it will destroy it completely. But more than destroy it, it will bring a DNA purposely to mutate the rats that will start invading and progressing and attacking. They will be so smart, smarter than any living being, almost as humans. But they will be very aggressive. We need to avoid the whole thing by destroying this asteroid before it even hit Earth. Why was not destroyed? Because they were fighting each other in the Third World War. The fifth catastrophe will be that the pharmaceutical industry will plot and actually realize their dream role to control all of us by creating this disease. They can save our lives if they want to, if we pay them a very important fee, a monthly fee. This will be worse than COVID or any other disease seen before. They will keep all of us under their thumb, and we will pay greatly. Humanity will go back into time under this mafia. We finally got saved from the clutches of this greedy conquerors. But it took many, many lives of us in order to achieve that. And I want you to start to fight now for freedom of your body and freedom of your mind. The truth is that there have been 50 civilizations of aliens living among us for thousands of years. Now, some civilizations famous around, they're not real. For example, what happened in Roswell? The famous gray aliens, they were not actual aliens. They were actually astronauts from Russia, and they were shot down by American military in the middle of the Cold War. Doing that means chances of having a third World War. So once they did shot down, thinking maybe it was an atomic missile, or on purpose, they couldn't reveal it to no one. Yet, they witnessed Coon Falls that saw a spaceship crash and what happened to the victims within it. They were burned to the crisp. The fuel, it wasn't making them great. Then the rest that happened because the pressure within the cabin made all the blood go to the head and became like a balloon. The eyes pop out because of pressure. All their skin got burned as well. Their hair gone, the ears gone. When people saw that and they couldn't recognize what kind of spaceship it was, they thought it was like an alien or something from outside. And the government that was wanting to hide any information of what they did. And that's why they couldn't show the spaceship, because if the Russians get a hold of that, they would know they were attacked. And that would be another chance of a third World War III, like what happened with Cuba. So, with all this tension, this was another possibility to get into World War III. The Anunnakis, for example, is the story of a reptilian race that in the past got stuck here on Earth. They couldn't return to their home. And what they did, they mixed the people with their species. And that's why a human looks like that, how it looks. But they were created so then they can become slaves. Well, guess what? Everybody's like that except the people from Europe. Some specific people from Europe. What it means that? Racists created this ideology to say that all of us were supposed to be slaves, and we have nothing to do with some specific people in Europe, especially the Nazis, or that circle of people around with that ideology. So it was created to separate the specific people from the rest, and say we all the rest, we deserve to be slaves. But the truth is that that race of reptilian never existed in that form and shape. They exist, yes, but not in the way that they want to show, through a spiritual realm. The first experience I had with an extraterrestrial visit was when I was a kid. I was sleeping in my bed, and I felt a presence coming through a window, and tried to see through it, and it was like a light. Later on, I realized that was an astral projection of an alien that was trying to give me a message from the future. When I told my parents about that, they thought I was like dreaming, I was not even serious about it. But then later on, more and more, they could see that I have these abilities, and they were like aware that I was attracting different things around in my environment. The second experience I had, I thought it was aliens that kidnapped me. And this is what happened. I was driving the dark road. I was in my teenagers. I was listening to music, and all of a sudden the music turned off, the car turned off. I was in the middle of nowhere, it was all dark, even the lights on the side of the freeway went off. But this was one light that took over the whole scenery. There was this kind of UFO that looks like this silver type of light, typical of the alien looks. And that time I thought it was an alien, because I did close my eyes, and later on when I opened my eyes, I realized that 5 hours passed. And later on I had dreams of things that happened to me, because I started to connect with my subconscious. They knew what they were doing to me. And what happened is that they kidnapped me, and they experimented with me, and extracted samples to mix me, my DNA, with other species because they wanted my abilities. But who these people were scientists working for aliens that kidnapped me. Thanks to my subconscious, I could see it all. I discovered them. And later on, I made them pay. I created this with the knowledge that they sent me through their mind. And they sent me the metal as well. The metal was sent by a meteorite. The meteorite hit a specific location and they sent me the coordinates where I looked for it. The exact coordinate that this fell at was in a beach where there's a cave. So I dived in and I found the metal without the shape, of course. And then I work on it using my mind and using some techniques the aliens sent me. And finally I reached the shape that I needed in order to have this condensator. This shape represents death and life. It is interconnected. When you die, that's the cause that means that you will be reborn. And when you're reborn, that's the cause that you receive the effect of dying. Because you die, then you have to be reborn. Because you're reborn, you have to die. And it goes on and on and on to eternity. Represents as well how the good and bad is connected. Two faces of a coin, and goes on and on. This helps to activate your inner energies that connect with your true self. We are all embodied of all the energies of the universe within ourselves. And this is an element that doesn't give us nothing, but it inspires to bring this unimaginable power from within. You just put it close to your subconscious, and then when it activates all this wisdom within your subconscious of trillions of past lives. Imagine that every lifetime you had, you wrote a diary of everything you did. That diary might have 10,000 pages, let's say. What if I tell you that you have a library of knowledge where you have billions of diaries of knowledge and you can have direct access to it? This helps to open the subconscious like a key. You just have to put it here, Robert, and where the subconscious lies. Anyone can use this, but it requires practice, like anything else. This is not about belief or not. Gravity, for example. I don't believe in gravity, but if I let this go, it will follow the ground. So my belief that gravity does not exist fails. If I'm floating in space and I believe in gravity, and I let this, I drop this, it will not drop, it will float. So different laws, that doesn't matter if I believe or not, they still going to work. So yes, you can achieve this to connect with your inner library. But you need practice. Practice make master. This element is difficult to understand. So even if a bad person steals it, what they can do with it. Now, when you're using to steal the knowledge of the subconscious of that library, it is hypnotic, inductive, and machinery. Technology is to steal from the people. While this inspires you to use your own energy to achieve that. They have built a whole scheme to steal your knowledge from past lives through other ways, other means. So no matter who gets this, it all depends on their practice and their good intent. This works with good energy. This has different names. It's the key of the subconscious. It's the condensator of different ideas or memories of the past. You can say, if we talk about a computer, that this will be a terabyte. A terabyte that can connect, that collect all kind of information in a computer. Well, this can collect information of my past lives. And then I can envision all the past lives information that can help me to improve myself or improve an environment. I even tested to see if I can find in one of my past lifetimes if I was a bandit or a pirate that hid a treasure somewhere. And I did find one of my past lives. And I found the treasure as well. I gave myself the coordinates. So yes, has many uses, but is still limited of the potential we have. One of the things that human beings have always tried to do is to empower and strengthen themselves. And that's where it comes in the exoskeleton. The exoskeleton gives any human being that wears this the strength of 10. Like a superhero. Or like an ant that can carry unimaginable weight and do unimaginable things. Robots in the future will be so common. Everyone is going to have minimum 5 to 10 or more robots around doing different chores, cleaning, cooking, taking care of anything that the humans need to be taken care of, so they can dedicate themselves into culture and to other kind of educations without needing to waste their time in simplicities. The matrix that we're going to be living in, it's just the dream world created in order to help us to rest better. Means that instead of trying to sleep 8 hours to barely recover, we were able to sleep 1 hour and then enjoy 23 hours of whatever we want to do. There will be more micro cities within a single building. Means that you can find a theater or a gym or where people will live as well, and their offices. We have seen this already, but this will be the next step. And after this, they will have space made kind of buildings like this, and they will have underwater cities like this as well. The space tourism will be amazing. We will have like tour buses, they're going out of space, but not just for the few or the elite, for every single one that has the appropriate credits, or you can say the coins of that time. We have always wanted to find the secret of the reptiles that have managed to grow parts of their body that have been severed. And finally that breakthrough happened. Our bodies can be restored back to normal. Our legs can be rebuilt. Our hands can be rebuilt. Every single part of our body can be rebuilt. The telekinetic transportation, it will be done by the empowerment of a vehicle similar to the one I use. But this one will be minimized in order to be put around the head, like a crown, or around the arm, like a slave bracelet. And it will have enough power to support the traveling, the astral traveling towards different parts of the galaxy. You will actually not only see different planets and living beings, you can even interact with them. In the future, where I come from, it is the opposite belief that from this time, where in order to make profit out of you, they have to keep you sick. The knowledge of what happened in one of the dynasties of China, that the doctor that take care of the royal family will be paid as long as no member of the family gets sick. And that's the knowledge, same knowledge applied in the future. As long as the people remain healthy and they don't get sick, the ones that are in charge to keep them healthy, they will get paid. But as soon as somebody gets sick, that payment is over. That changes the whole ball game. Something interesting that will happen is when a human being is born out of space. We know that the mothers would transmit the DNA to their babies to adapt to their environment they're living at. Means the food they eat, the water they drink, the sun they take, the air they breathe. All that gives the mother the DNA that will transmit to the next generation, to the kid. And that kid will transmit that to the next one and to the next one. All that was accelerated, making the baby born in space, totally adapted to space. The baby will not have the shape of a human being. They will have the shape of a fish, more like a stingray, but with the brain of a human being. One of the biggest problems of this age will be totally resolved in the future by creating small black holes. Pollution, for example, enormous quantity of garbage, totally out of control, that is non-existent in the future. Why? Because we will dispose of all this garbage through the small black holes. Every single human will have their own small black hole that they can process their garbage and then create this condensated energy within this battery that they can use for themselves or resell it. So that will recycle energy and garbage in an instant. This will be the greatest renewable energy ever. Trash that's worth of nothing, it will become this precious energy that the black hole did. The dolphins did a major change. They became amphibious. And then, in the future where I come from, they even walk like humans. But their capacity of communication was so complicated and so advanced that we managed to reach their capacity in my time. That's how advanced we were. We managed to reach them through technology, through past life, looking for ways to advance it. Why? How we managed to reach them? Because we learned from them their language through sound and vibration. We didn't know that any species were communicating with higher evolved species from other galaxies. But now I'm sharing all of you that not only the birds and the cats and the dogs are representing very evolved species from other galaxies. The dolphin is representing one of the most advanced species of the whole universe. Those are on all levels. And we finally managed to reach that level thousands of years from now. Something very funny that happened recently is that a couple that were driving away with a baby crocodile, all of a sudden they look back and see the crocodile run after them with 2 feet. That scared the hell out of them. Now, that was just an example of what is going to be in the future. Yes, they are going to walk with 2 feet in the future. And they are, the ones of my time, are the ones communicating with the ones of this time. So the crocodiles and alligators and caiman and all this type of reptile are communicating with the reptiles of my time, of their same species. That I have witnessed. Their development is not going to be as advanced as the dolphin or the chimpanzee, but they will achieve the level of what we are now, today. But in my time, where I came from, one of the things looming business today is the fashion designers. They create clothing in the future that all will be fused into one single technology. Cellular clothing. It will shape your body the way you want. You can look like a woman or like a man, or both. And at the same time, it will dress you up the way you want. It will fit you perfectly because it's made from your own cells. So one day you can become a gorgeous woman dressed up like a dancer. The next day you can become a strong man dressed up like an adventurer. But you become whatever you desire without depending on third parties. You are your own creator of the image and what you wear on top of that image. Humans that have traveled all around space in the galaxy will need to find a way to have sun and moons and enjoy the same thing they did enjoy Earth. And that was made by reproducing artificial suns and moons that they could take wherever they go. And actually save Earth in the future. Because he managed to replace the whole sun by creating millions of suns. The same way that these days you can eat food from any part of the world, of any culture, we as well in the future will enjoy delicities from all around the galaxy and beyond. Foods from cultures from around the world will be today, like tomorrow, will be from around the galaxy. From every planet you can imagine, delicities of all kinds will come served at your table. And you can enjoy it like if you were one alien more from around the galaxy. Well, thanks to the drones, people these days have been flying around. But the drones will achieve new levels where smaller drones can carry more weight. Instead of 4 drones to carry one person, 2 drones will carry one person. Then 1 drone will carry one person. But all that will change when the drone is connected to the mind and empower the mind itself to levitate. What jockeys did in the past to levitate, now this mechanism that they're going to put in their brain will help the human to levitate. But this mechanism has a strong way of controlling movements. So it's a combination of a drone with a brain levitation device. The artificial intelligence is going to reach the utmost peak because the 5G they have been implanted everywhere. Because in Belgium, they have all the construction in order to make the most powerful AA that will gather all the information of humanity within that supercomputer. So no one will be exempt of being part of the knowledge of that supercomputer. That supercomputer will be used for bad, but then will be used for incredible things as well. Space travel will accelerate a bit, and they will reach not only Mars, but other planets, until they will figure out the best way to travel is not outward, but it's inward. That will change our reality. But for now, there will be some advance. Traveling very fast and finding ways to reach points to the waves and vibration of the universe. But that will be prehistorical compared of the achievement of traveling throughout the universe by traveling in your micro-universe. The way we vote. And this time, we see all the corruption, all the ways that we can manipulate votes to computers or sabotage, rigged, to sending votes to mail that are rigged to. Everything has been and is possible to corrupt. But in the future, where I come from, we vote through all minds. We have a card that we have a print, life print, DNA in that card. Unique. No one can reproduce that. The same way no one can make a spiritual clone out of me. No one can reproduce that life force within that card. So through our mind, we vote, and with that card, we stamp our vote.